What's up guys, Gaonan here and welcome to episode 7 of Drafting to Masters. If you've missed any past episodes, I've included them in the top right corner of this video. I started this series for two reasons. One was to share my draft knowledge and two was to have some fun. Each month since the Fall of Argenport release, I've been in the top 50 Masters at the end of the month with about a 60% win rate. I really enjoy playing and talking about Eternal, so feel free to add me in game using the above tag. Diamond is usually the hardest part of the climb, so don't get discouraged by some missteps. Without further ado, let's get into the draft. So there are three cards in this pack you should be looking at: Dashing Rapscallion, Crown Watch Standard, and Living Example. I would say the strongest one is Dashing Rapscallion. It's a really strong finisher, and I like to take the rare to see how it does, so I'm going to take it here over the other two. Spirit Ward Shaman is pretty weak. Aegis is not great in draft. Territorial Elf I really don't like. Linebreaker Shield is good. Welding Torch is good. And the other cards are below the power level of those. So I'm going to pick the Welding Torch to stay on color here and keep it moving. Ruination Sledge is a nice pickup. Left-Right Target Caller is also good. Hot-Blood Barbarian is worthy of consideration as well. Given what we have so far, I'm just going to take the Ruination Sledge and continue to stay open on our second color. Jack's Choice is a nice pickup. There are also some pretty good time cards coming through, and Ankle Cutter is a solid 2-drop. I think Jack's Choice is probably the most powerful card, so I'm going to take it here, even though it semi-commits us to playing Stone Scar. Not a big fan of any of these cards. I'm going to pick Snowfort Trumpeter here because I think it's better than the rest. And I think I totally messed up in the last pack. I think there was a Crown Watch Standard and I should have taken that over Snowfort Trumpeter. Crown Watch Standard coming through, another Ruination Sledge, Downfall, Learned Herbalist, and I'm going to take the Crown Watch Standard here as well. The fact that these are coming through pretty late probably means Justice is open, and Crown Watch Standard is, I think, the best of the standards. And then we have No Fire, No Justice, and good time cards, good primal card. I think the time cards are probably stronger at this point, so I'm going to take Learned Herbalist here, because that could potentially help us splash this Jack's Choice if we want to play it. I'll take the Parma here, don't love it, but does help you ramp and keep attacking. So Final Shot is a good finisher. Don't know if we need it at this point, rather like to start getting some bodies, and Amanera is a pretty good body to have, so I'm going to take that. Darkstalker is fine here. Canary is okay, and After Image we won't play. So first pack was all over the place, not really sure where we're supposed to be at yet. I still think our Fire is our strongest faction at this point. I like the Jack's Choice, and I like our time cards as well. Learned Herbalist and Watchful Amanera are good, and Crown Watch Standard is good as well. In this pack, I would probably say that Polymorph is the strongest card, but I don't know if it pulls me enough to go that direction. My other options, I would say, are Rapid Shot and Bright Mace Paladin, because I'd say those are the next strongest cards. Smuggler's Stash is honestly pretty good as well, but I'm going to go for it though. I'm going to take this Smuggler's Stash because the power level is very high, and so we'll start looking for some good synergies here. And then a Vanquish comes through. We've got Vanquish, we've got Granite Acolyte, Unpredictable Outlaw, Seek Power. I think I take the Vanquish here. It is splashable, so if we get the right banners, we could play this. And the power level of this is just so much higher than everything else, so I'm going to take the Vanquish here. Moonlit Gargoyle is fine. Guerrilla Fighter is good. Scrap Hound is okay, but we don't have any of the Grenadin synergies yet, so just going to take Moonlit Gargoyle here. A little worried about the curve of our deck at the moment. We've got a lot of high cost, very powerful Stone Scar cards, but not a lot of 2-drops, so need to start correcting that fairly soon. Recycler is a good card and probably a signal that this faction pairing is open. There's also Combust and Ravenous Thornbeast, so I'll take Recycler here and then we'll continue down this Stone Scar path. Unseen Agent fits well into this weapons matter plan. Also continues to give us Nightfall, so Moonlit Gargoyle stays in the air, so I like that. Oni Ronin is the best 1-drop, so taking that here. Probably won't play either of these fire cards. Also noteworthy that there are no shadow cards at the moment, but could just be a fluke. I'm going to take the front runner over the pit fighter though, but hoping I don't have to play that. So Gorilla Fighter is a decent 4-drop. We don't have any primal cards worth splashing, so no reason to pick up the banner here. Could also take Triggerman, but I think I like Gorilla Fighter more here, since we don't have any other gunslingers at the moment. Audacious Bandit is good. Maybe we play Grenamender. Waystone's fine, keep Gargoyle in the air, and another weapon. Torch is amazing, even better than Extinguishes, so I think it's a pretty easy torch here. Slumbering Stone is nice, is a chump blocker early on, becomes a flyer, and any of the sacrifice synergies that we might want are good with this card, so I like it here. I wish I wasn't taking another 4-drop, but my other options are pretty terrible. Some pretty good primal cards coming through, but gonna stay on plan, continue down the Stone Scar path, and take this Cabal Bludgeoner. Alright, I'm gonna get some of the stuff out of here that we aren't gonna play. So here we have an interesting choice. We have another very high power level of Smuggler's Stash. That would be our third 6-drop in this deck, which doesn't excite me that much. Desperado is fine, but I don't think we have any way to reliably get it through. Amethyst Waystone keeps at night. Seek Power allows us to potentially splash this Vanquish. Leaning towards being a bit greedy and taking a second Smuggler's Stash, since we are a high curve deck at the moment. We're going to want to play a lot of power, and this way we can recur our units, recur our strong weapons, and hopefully win late game, which is not usually the plan for a Stone Scar deck, but still a plan nonetheless. But the Seek Power does smooth out our draws, helps us curve out. Those are the two cards I'm really torn between at this point, is Smuggler's Stash and Seek Power. Because this is kind of a similar discussion as to splashing. Do you want the consistency of Seek Power, or do you prefer the high power level of Smuggler's Stash? We've got good weapons to recur. We've got good units to recur. So I'm going to go with the high power of Smuggler's Stash here. Wow. These are all great cards for us. I really don't think I can take another 6-drop at this point. We've already got 3. I'm just going to take the Katana here, and we really need some early game for this deck, so let's hope we get it. Scrap Hound is fine, not exactly what we want, but at least we could potentially sacrifice Slumbering Stone to it. Not that bad. We'll take a Duskcaller here. We don't have anything in time that's worth splashing, so Duskcaller makes sense. Ravenous Thornbeast is great for us. Recogulator is even fine. And then we've got cards that we're not going to play. We might play this Sparkbot. My goodness, we've got some very strong cards here. Obviously, I like Welding Torch. I also really like Corrupted Umbran. Blade Whirl is good in our deck as well. I think I'm going to take Corrupted Umbran here. I just like it more than the rest, and we can replace some of the 4-drops that we don't necessarily like. You know, we've already got a lot of solid weapons. We've got a Welding Torch, we've got Ruination Sledge, we've got Katana. So I think Corrupted Umbran here makes sense. Okay, like I said, we needed some early game, so makes sense to take Drifter here instead of another Ruination Sledge. Fiery Fisher is also okay, but we have lots of top end already. Crazy that this changey stick is here. I guess nobody's in Primal, so maybe we should have been Skycrag, hard to say, but I'm pretty happy with how this deck is looking so far. Wow. Temple Shihan coming through. So Primal is wide open, but way too late to change now. I'm going to take this Corrupted Umbran and actually be very happy about it. Cut Ties is unconditional removal, so I like that. Wow, yeah, Skycrag would have been really good in this pack 4. Crazy that Crown Watch Standard is here too. I don't know what the people to the left of me are drafting. I don't have a ton of spells to make this cheaper, so I'm going to take another Drifter. It's a solid 1-drop and, you know, can help us out in the early game. I'll take Rambot. I don't think I'm going to play it. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. All these cards are great for us. I like Standard. I think Cabal Standard makes sense here instead of another Welding Torch, but maybe since we have 2 Smuggler Stash, it's just better to take Welding Torches here. I am going to take this Welding Torch. Even if I just play it on curve at 4, it's very strong, so I'm going to take it here and bank on the Smuggler Stashes kind of leading us to victory rather than relying on combat tricks to do that. Alright, how many early drops do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1 and 2 drops. It's probably enough, and then our late game is just insane, and I like Wildfire Sensari here, so I'm going to take it. Oh, Bloodthirsty Brawler is so good, but we don't have any way to splash it. Not playing any of these cards. We might play Flame Fang and Death Strike. So this, I think, is probably like almost a 19 power deck. It's a 18 or 19 power deck, I would say. All the spells are good, all the attachments are good, so we're just looking at units here to cut. We have to have enough early game to get us to the late game. I think we have enough of an early game, so I'm not too worried. It is a little concerning that we literally only have 1 2-drop, but maybe these 1-drops are strong enough for us to be okay with that. So the 4-drop slot is probably where we need to look first as far as cuts. I think Recogulator can go. I like Guerrilla Fighter, I like Corrupted Umbran, I like Bludgeoner, and Bandit is good too. So I'm wondering if Wildfire Sensari is good enough. Probably is. I mean, all 3 of these guys are just houses at the end of the game. So one more cut would put us at 18 power, and then another cut after that would put us at 19 power. I think I like getting rid of Flame Fang. At best, we get, you know, the Infiltrate off, get a 3-1, and then like sacrifice it to Thorn Beast or something. I think I'd rather just get the free Grenadin off the Sparkbot instead, so I'm going to take out the Flame Fang here. And Do I need another power? I feel like I do because I want to curve out to 4 every time consistently. I feel like Audacious Bandit might be the weakest of our 4 drops. It's either that or Guerrilla Fighter. Like if we just plan to beat him with size, then Guerrilla Fighter doesn't make as much sense. But it's a pretty unique effect. These two are very similar in that with a weapon on them they're hard to deal with. This one is better when you're behind. This one is probably better when you're ahead. I guess we have to think about where would we want to put our weapons. Do we want to use a weapon on Cabal Bludgeoner, or would we rather have it on Corrupted Umbran, or one of these guys at the top end, or our unblockable guy or flyer? So maybe that's reason enough to kick Cabal Bludgeoner and just play Audacious Bandit. I think I'm okay with that. I think we do need 19 power in this deck to make sure we curve out. We want to get to high levels of power to be able to play Smuggler's Stash. We want to be able to spellcraft our welding torches. So let's get the power added to the deck. So it's saying only 18 power, so we could just add the other guy back in and call it a day. I think I'm okay with that. Just want to say thank you for watching this draft and deck building episode. I hope you can join me for the games. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a subscription to the channel. That way you know when the videos go live. If you have any comments or questions about any of my picks, don't hesitate to put those below or hit me up on Twitter. I'm happy to talk through things and look forward to getting into some games.